to break it all down in our Worlds cooldown.
Thank you so much, Munchables. Wonderful analyst test. That's lovely.
Yeah,
you know, it's almost as nice as winning a best of 3 when you lose the first game. Team Wales building a bit of a habit on this particular one. Not quite sure how I was going to connect that one there, so to be honest with you. Nailed it. Absolutely seamless. But, I mean, it does feel like it's kind of becoming a formula for them now. They lose game 1, they download, and then it just becomes as easy as that from then onwards.
You can never doubt this team. No. And I've been doubting them a lot.
Yeah.
So,
yes, you have.
I was like, okay, I mean, we'll see how this game works, because it feels like CFO, even within the third game, we're finding fights again and again. And I was like, okay, like even just looking at Jimyon's team fighting was just so insane, being able to kite out of Aatrox's engages, and I was like, okay, it looks like CFO's going to take it. Just wasn't a possibility.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was so hard for Shun to actually hit targets in this game, especially because like whenever there was like a Rel flank going in or a Vi dive, like those two champions are going in so deep, and there's no one really to protect Shun, so he has to sit back, can't really follow up on all the engage. I think if anything, that was when the fights went the most poorly for CFO, was when they were the ones trying to engage, whereas there were a few fights, right, with the wonderful Azir movement or the ultimate or disengage from the Xayah, where CFO looked really strong, and that's because they were letting Team Wales come to them.
Yeah, it was a constant back and forth. We didn't like the Vi necessarily, especially with...
Yo, if that was a Kindred, all I'm saying is CFO unlosable.
Yeah. and so for me, I thought BJ's biggest success throughout this game in particular was anytime Vi was going straight in and being followed up by Xiaoxi, the engage was stifled, mostly because it was a Cataclysm and then EQ out. He was isolating the Renekton and the rest of the team, so they couldn't follow up. And you mentioned how the AD carry wasn't able to actually follow up in any of these fights because Vi was getting deleted before he could reach him. So even though it was back and forth, this was happening fairly consistently. So Gemini had a great early game, but overall, it felt like Jarvan was just far more impactful.
100%. I think especially like scaling into the later stage of the game, just like even like there was some cataclysms that just kept Shun or Jimyon away from the team, so they still couldn't get autos down when that counter dive was going in. Oh my lord!
That's gross.
Okay,
let him have it.
Yo, Team Wales, a little bit of a show here. I love it.
Proving that whales better than oysters.
Yeah, those are killer whales.
Those are killer whales right there, 100%. They got the Orca blood in them. But, I mean, like, I love that you make that kind of point as well about how, you know, Gemini and Xiaoxi going in and not having the rest of their team be able to follow up. Because we had a couple of times we were going, what are they doing? And then we'd look at the replay and go, wait, hang on. There was literally nothing their team could have done because the Cataclysm and all the effort kind of like CCing that was coming down, they just couldn't follow them.
It was really, really tough for them. And yet, it seemed like there was an angle at the very end, right, where the inhibitor goes down, CFO get back onto the map with a good couple of kills, but then they go for the pick onto the Aatrox in bot lane as opposed to the Dragon Soul. Yeah. And then it gets all turned around on them because their Xayah doesn't have any cooldowns. The ultimate, the flash, nothing was up. That was ultimately the straw that broke the camel's back, or the oysters back. Do oysters have backs?
No.
The straw that
I don't think
stole
they're
the pearl.
vertebraes. I think they're invertebrates. I don't think they have any spines.
I mean, they were really tunneled on the fights, which made the series a lot of fun. I'll take it, right? As a fan, it made this so much. And a lot of it comes down to familiarity, because even Xiaoxi at the beginning of the series did talk about how they were scrim partners. So I was like, okay, if you have a lot of familiarity with the enemy team, a lot of the times it gets a lot more bloodier, a lot more comfortable with knowing the tendencies of your opponents. So that bled into what was, okay, screw side lanes, screw the dragon, I see a hero, I'm going to kill him.
I mean, that's what we came here to see. That's what we came here to have. But obviously, we can have a quick look at the bracket just before, because we do have confirmation of our 2 winning teams heading themselves over to that best of 5. And there you go. PSG and Team Wales, they're in the upper bracket. They're sitting pretty. They're waiting until Sunday.
Yeah, very nicely done on their side. Of course, this makes the